The world's population is presently estimated to be 7 billion and is expected to reach an alarming 10 billion individuals by the year 2083. Almost 1 out of 7 people in the world are hungry. Land available for agriculture is becoming scarce because of urban expansion. How can we tackle the world food crisis? Perhaps with a better distribution of goods and wealth worldwide? Could urban agriculture possibly be a solution? Urban agriculture is the practice of cultivation, processing, and distribution of food in an urban area. In Montreal, we are privileged to have an important pioneer in urban agriculture called Lufa Farms. The concept of Lufa Farms was thought of by founder Mohammed Hage and his friend Kurt Lin. After consulting a team of engineers, architects, plant scientists, and farming experts, their idea turned into the first prototype of Lufa Farms. Situated in the district of Anse-Cartierville, the 31,000 foot square greenhouse grows 120 varieties of vegetables and can feed 2,000 people. Although Lufa Farms use natural controls like ladybugs instead of synthetic pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides, they can be considered organic because they use various hydroponic growth methods. Lufa Farms has a liberty of choosing plant varieties for their tastes since products are picked and distributed within a few hours and do not need to be resistant to long-distance transport. Some vegetables have up to twice the nutritional value than the ones found at the supermarket. They also capture and filtrate rainwater for irrigation. They used a system called drip irrigation to allow recirculation of water. Lufa Farms use half the energy that a conventional greenhouse would because they receive heat from the building beneath the farm. In the summer, the farm helps to cool down the building underneath it, so it's a win-win situation. The future sites of Lufa Farms have been planned to heat on biomass from recycled plants or wood fibers.
What impact do you think agriculture has on our environment and on our health?
Agriculture have estimated that it's the single largest driver of biodiversity loss around the planet. It is the biggest user of fresh water on the planet, and nearly 70% of all the water we withdraw from our rivers and lakes are used for agriculture, for irrigation. It causes water pollution on top of that, causing what people call eutrophication of lakes. You also asked about health. There are multiple dimensions to that. One is just the kind of food we eat and the diversity of our diets and things like that. So, I think a case can be made that our diets have become less diverse, and so the kinds of maybe potent nutrients that we used to get from a more diversified diet has changed, and they're also related to obesity, for example, which has huge health consequences. Also, people who work in agriculture, there are issues related to use of pesticides in agriculture, which may not necessarily be related to whether when you eat the food up. I think there's pretty good scientific evidence that the pesticide residues are really small in produce we eat, but the workers in the field who are applying pesticides, they can have serious health consequences. Sustainable idea, it's a little hard to define what it means, but I think it has a role to play in kind of the global challenge of feeding people. The spirit of urban agriculture is that the many urban areas where, like rooftops, where we don't do anything with that area and we can produce food there, we can actually get our food directly from our own rooftops than having to buy it from somebody else, and it kind of creates a local market and so on and so forth. So I definitely see a role there. Ultimately agriculture is about feeding people, so that's the #1 reason why it exists, but it also needs to have low environmental impacts across a whole variety of dimensions, greenhouse gases and biodiversity and water use and water quality and so on, and it also has to be beneficial to farmers.
My name is Justina Davidovich, and I get veggies from Lufa Farm. I really like the quality of the produce, so even if it's maybe not enough for the whole week, but I find the produce very fresh and often very tasty. I get the basket in the winter, and I find it's a bit difficult to find fresh produce in the supermarket, and also I like to support local farming, so it's nice for me to get fresh veggies in the winter that haven't come from really far away. Yeah, definitely. I think it's a great way, and I think it saves so much money and resources when we can just grow our food right in our backyard. And I think food that's grown freshly tastes a lot better, and also people can get involved as a community in growing their food and sort of see where the food is being grown and what we're using as fertilizers in our food, and so I think it's a lot healthier and definitely a lot more environmental and economical to grow it locally.
It's that people, they grow their own things on rooftops or where they have space and greenhouses and things like that. Okay, my thoughts are quite conflicted. I believe that I like the idea of the 100-mile diet, but since we're in Montreal, it would suck because we wouldn't have a lot, of staples that we need. I try to buy locally, I try to buy organic as best as I can.
To conclude our project, as a group, we believe that urban agriculture and the concept of Lufa Farms would be a beneficial investment for Montreal's population. How can you get started? Visit lufa.com to become a member and discover your Bros Drop Point, or get adventurous and start your own garden.